One of the fascinating people that they study in this book is Jeffrey Lurie. This is a guy that bought the Philadelphia Eagles, back in 1994, and he bought the Eagles for 185 million. And in 2024, he ended up selling 8% of the team for 664 million. Now, I grew up outside of Philadelphia, so I remember shortly after Jeffrey Lurie bought the Eagles that there was like the crappy Veterans Stadium that was just in despicable condition, right? So, you know, Jeffrey Lurie was a film guy, I guess, in Hollywood, and he had this idea that sports and entertainment industries were going to kind of collide. And I think a lot of us that have grown up the last 30 or so years, we don't remember that there's an era before the NFL was like this big kind of center of American entertainment culture, right? So, when Lurie bought the Eagles, and with, the kind of depressed assets that came along with training facilities, rundown Veteran Stadium, a lot of people probably been like, oh, he paid way too much. So I thought about that Nipsey Hussle line I brought up the other day, large profit margin on the long shots. He bought the Eagles in 94 for 185, and now I think they say it's worth 45 or 46 times that if Jeffrey Lurie were to sell the entire Eagles franchise today. They talk about how billionaires scored high on openness to experience, and then reading has generally been their main, source of inspiration, which makes sense. I feel like books are always like the most available source of inspiration. I'm sure that those who have traveled widely, though, as we talk about with the Red Bull founder, I'm sure that factors in as well and kind of serves the same purpose that books do. And I love this quote here. It says, quote, "For every self-made billionaire, there are likely many more who observed the structural shift and had an idea on how to capitalize on that shift, but they either never tried or failed on the attempt." So there's a lot of people that read widely. They're super aware. They can see these shifts, one being with AI right now, myself included. I would say I score super high on openness to experience. But, one thing I have to watch out for myself is just because I see these shifts doesn't mean I'm going to be able to capitalize for them if I don't take action on these ideas, man. So